Hey guys, what's up? Today we're looking at Battle Damage Spider-Man. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to warn you, this is not a complete review because I somehow managed to lose all of his accessories. How that happened, I don't know. I think I also lost it alongside Spider-Man 77's rope accessory. So basically, when I go out and hunt for these things, it's usually my day off. I got nothing going on. And, so I'm out hunting, and I usually go everywhere with a backpack. I don't know why that is. I think it's like a holdover from growing up skateboarding, but I take it everywhere. I don't take it into the store, but I just bring a backpack everywhere. It's always in my car. And since I'm a child, as soon as I get back in my car, I open these things, which is going to change soon because I'm going to start doing the unboxing portion of these too. But yeah, I'm a child, and I can't wait till I get home, and I just got to open these as soon as I get in the fucking car. So that's that. But anyway, so I'll take all the accessories out. I'll throw the trash away in my outside trash when I get home. The figures go in like the main backpack part, and then on the front, there's a magnetic flap. That's where I always put the accessories. What happened to them after that, I don't know. My guess is they fell out. Because there was a time I remember my backpack falling upside down and getting scared that maybe some stuff fell out. And by the time I got home, I didn't check. So I'm thinking that they fell in some trash and I threw them away, which is super lame. Because one, that's like the other half of the box. And, it's just whatever. So sorry, this won't, if you are interested in the other stuff, I don't have it, unfortunately. But I'll go over what he came with. He came with these two fists he's got on. He came with two kind of like wall crawling hands. He came with two thwippers. He came with that kind of stupid, clear, cheap, long web, which I think that survived. I'm pretty sure I have that, but I'm not sure if that one came with this one or what. But anyway, and then he also came with the Peter Parker head sculpt, which is honestly what I'm the most bummed about, not having that. But I figured you'd, want the meat and potatoes, which is the figure. So he also came with the web shield, which I'm not a fan of, to be honest. And then the main thing, if you didn't know, this is a Magic the Gathering kind of collab. There's 4 of them. There's this one, Man Wolf, which I really want. Iron Spider, Mary Jane, which is kind of a maybe. I'd get it maybe. And then the White Anti-Venom, Agent Venom. That one's kind of a pass, unless I find it loose somewhere on the cheap. But I think Man Wolf is definitely my number one I want, mainly because I'm more of a villains guy. But it's Spider-Man. And somehow, my old collection and this one, I've never had a normal red and blue Spider-Man. Not counting MCU ones. But comic book, this is the closest I've gotten to a red and blue Spider-Man that wasn't like Ben Reilly or something. And even this isn't technically that, because he's battle damaged. So maybe one day I don't know how I've managed to completely miss out, and I had sold that collection right before I pulled the trigger on the Maximum Series Spider-Man, which would have been my first normal red and blue Spider-Man. So, but anyway, yeah, it comes with the Magic the Gathering, which kind of boosts up the price. It comes with a Magic Gathering card. I don't care for the card. I thought about, before I lost it, saving it, maybe one day it would be worth something, but it kind of strikes me as like a gimmick, like one of those things that seems important, but since it's a crossover, it never really becomes valuable. But I'm not sure. I'm not into Magic the Gathering. I actually kind of have a disdain for card games in general. I just get so damn bored from them. So, if you enjoy it, that's fine. I have friends that enjoy Pokemon. But that's like the big thing. And I can't tell you the last time I saw somebody playing Pokemon as opposed to just collecting them. But when it comes to Magic the Gathering, that's also huge. But people actually play that. So, I don't know. But I am curious, like, because on the Marvel Legends collector end, the price it's not like super crazy, but it is bumped up a bit. But I think if you're wanting this for the figure, it's not that bad. But I'm curious if you're a Magic the Gathering fan and you kind of just wanted the card, do you think the price justified it? Like if, like I got this, sell the card, would the Magic the Gathering guy want to pay that for the card and sell this? I mean, maybe they'd keep it at that point, but I don't know. I'm just kind of interested how it feels on the, through the lens of somebody who's not just buying them for the figure. But yeah, so again, sorry I don't have literally anything it came with, which is lame. But luckily, when I do open them in the car, I put everything I want on them. So this is how I would display it. But anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to do paint apps first. The head, so everything's pretty shiny, especially the torso. But like the head is not, I don't know, I think that's kind of jarring with how shiny the torso is. But anyway, the head is molded in red. The lines are nice. There's some slight wrinkles. I'll go over sculpt in a second. The eyes are raised and sculpted and painted, so that's nice. There's some hair coming out here, which doesn't have a wash or anything, but that also seems to be a separate piece plucked in there. It's kind of a softer plastic. Paint apps on the actual suit here. It's fine. Nice clean line where the blue meets the red. Web lines are all fine. They connect on the neck. Same within the back. See a slight paint smudge right there. This line's clean. Something weird going on there paint-wise, you see there. Also, that line there is kind of cut, but I'm not like a super stiffler about the lines. The back spider is on there nicely. That looks fine. The front spider also on there looks fine. I am seeing this. I don't know if it's sticking out as much as it is to me as with you. I am having a stroke saying words, sorry. This line right here, it's much thicker than anything around it. It's kind of sticking out to me. But, yeah, see. But again, that's whatever. Paint on the arms looks fine. The arms are molded in blue, so the red is painted. Shoulders look fine. And then you got this one over here. All the scrapes are painted. It's not like red. It's more of like a fleshy pink. It's less of a cut, more like you kind of just got a scrape here or there. But maybe there's like a thing with blood in these toys. I don't know. Legs are all painted in blue. So the only thing that's sculpted in the skin tone is this butterfly joint and this arm going down to here, because this, where it meets the red, I'm pretty sure that's a separate piece. Otherwise, the skin tone is painted there. It's painted on the face. It's painted there. And it's painted on the legs as well as the boots there. That's, yeah, so that's all painted. This is molded in it. So there's that. And then the line work looks fine on the feet. So, yeah. Now, the cool thing about this is it is a very hyper-specific sculpt for this, because pretty much everything that has battle damaged, I don't see what else you'd use it for. The only thing that is not battle damaged is, let me see here. So technically, the hips, they could reuse for whatever. This butterfly joint and this shoulder, and I guess the hands and the feet. But the lower section of the torso here, the ab section, and the crotch piece, that has no specific molding for it. So, you know, I don't see them reusing this unless like whoever they use it for is going to have the exact same battle damage that this guy has. But anyway, that's whatever. All the scrapes and cuts are all sculpted in. Like here, this is sculpted in. That's sculpted. It's sculpted there. These are sculpted. You can feel it. Rip there is sculpted. Rips here are sculpted. Now this is painted on, but the rip around it is still sculpted, as is there, here, and there. And then after that, there's even more slightly smaller dings and scrapes here and there. Trying to find a good example of that. I don't know if you can see this. Right there, there's like 2 little scrapes. They're not painted, but they're molded in there. And there's a couple of those here and there. Like there's even some right here. And then on top of that, there's also nice little folds, you know, wrinkles or whatnot here and there. What else was I gonna say? Oh, and every rip. So I haven't done any customization on this, and I might, but it's only going to be to maybe add more blood and scrapes. But there's part of the sculpt that gets really lost. You can't even see it, but every scrape or every fabric tear, there is, I don't know if you can see it, there's fabric that hangs down. Like you can kind of see it right here. Like that should be the inside of the suit, that since it's ripped, it's now hanging out. I thought about going over those bits with lighter colors of either the red or the blue, just to show it's there more, you know. But I haven't decided yet. And then on top, and then the only other thing is the butterfly joint here. Obviously, since it's ripped, this one is normal, smooth, but this one actually has the tear and rip around the shoulder, and it goes all the way around. That's a nice little detail. And so yeah, that's basically it for the sculpt. Again, I wish I could show you everything else for the other accessories, but I don't got it, unfortunately. So we'll go over articulation now. So I'm gonna start with the feet this time. So the feet are on a forward-facing pin for rocker, which does that job phenomenally. Oh my God, that just goes all the way around. Goes back all the way, goes forward, pretty good. And there is toe joints that go up that much and down that much. So that really helps with some posing. I do have a major issue with this figure, and other than me losing stuff, but we'll get to that. Boot swivel, double jointed pinless knees that it doesn't go all the way there, and if you push, you can see it's lifting up the boot there, so that's not the best, but it's all right. Upper thigh cut, we'll get to the hips. And then torso has a dumbbell right here, can you know, lean that way, can go all the way around. It's not necessarily loose, but it's pretty easy to do. Without bending this hinge down there, it goes forward that much. Without bending that thing, it goes back that much. It's gonna kind of open up in there, but whatever. And then there, like I said, there's a hinge here, so bending everything down, you can get down to there. Move the arm to there, and it can go back to there, which is decent, but it would be better if we would get to the other issue I have with this, but we'll get there. Butterfly joints come forward this much, and they go back pretty far with this one. This one feels like it wants to stop, and then you're looking at it, it's like, well, that's not the same. What the heck? I don't know what it is, but if you push, oh man, I don't want to break it though. If you push really hard, there we go. It does go all the way back. I don't know why that one takes so much more effort. I thought maybe it was a different sculpt, but looking at the musculature, they seem like the same sculpt to me. But then when you put this one all the way back like it is, you can actually see there, right there, there's an R sculpted in there. I'm assuming that's for the factory to know that this is the right one. And I thought, well, is it really the same one? But then I'm like, this one wouldn't have the R anyway, because it's not the right one. And then I was like, you know, maybe it doesn't even have the L, because what else would it be? If this one's the right one, obviously this one's the left one. So I think it is the same sculpt, but this one does have more of an issue going back. But just, I guess, be aware that if you go that one all the way back, you do have an R right there. Also, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know how I thought butterfly joints worked. I thought maybe I've seen a different system, but I kind of thought, you know, they come in this way and there's some mechanism to make them do their thing. But I don't know if you can see in here. You can't really see it on this side because that one is red. The peg going down is red. But right there, do you see that skin? That's because, and again, I feel kind of stupid, but the butterfly joint is in there and the peg goes down, and that's how it swivels. I don't know how I thought it worked, but of course it works like that. Although, I'm trying to think how many figures I've cracked open. Maybe I haven't cracked open one with the butterfly joint, but I just kind of feel stupid because obviously that's how it works. But if you bend forward, you will see it. Not so much this one because that peg is red, but because this torso is red with the paint being blue. So the red peg blends in with the molded. You get the idea. Shoulder coming out can go all the way around. Upper bicep swivel, you can get it to go past 90, which is nice. Double jointed pinless arms, which is about as good as you could want. And it's just because this is a completely different sculpt, I'll do that as well. And it's behaving differently with the butterfly joint. Same thing. And then this is a separate piece, but it doesn't swivel. And then coming out here with the hinge up and down, and it swivels. And then my first problem with this, this damn dumbbell joint. You're gonna get some decent tilt. Not the best, even at that, but it's, you know, more tilt. Looking down, just the neck. Doesn't even look like he's looking down. Looking up, a little bit better than down, but it's still not the best. Now there is a cutout there for the stem, but as I went over in my 2099 video, I don't feel like this hardly works ever. Now I will say in the 2099 video, if you watch that, that system they got works better. It feels like it's actually doing something, but this is just the classic case of why is it even there? You know, this needs to be on a disc hinge. I feel like everything, you know, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this is on purpose. Because you can't come out with the perfect figure. Because at that point, it's like, you can't make a new one. You know what I mean? Like, they have to save the best improvements for at least later. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's how they justify, you know, is it anti-consumer? Yeah, kind of. I think so, but whatever. Also, something I forgot to mention with the paint apps. I don't know, again, when it comes to these tiny paint with the camera, I think you can see it. The front portion of the torso is much darker than the back portion. And I think it might even be darker than the actual red on the head. It's hard to tell with everything going on, but it is something I noticed. And then finally, my main issue with this figure is the hips. I'm not a fan of drop-down hips. I feel like they don't add much to the articulation, and above all, they don't feel good to move. And on top of that, they break. They seem to break easy. So not only does it feel like you're gonna break it, you probably will. And funny enough, the day I got this, I had broken this guy, my Final Swing Spider-Man. He's dead, as you can see. But you can kind of get an idea of how it works in there. Come out with the peg. It's kind of just, this goes, you know, in there, and it kind of hinges in there. This is a nasty break. There's not much you can do. So yeah, but that's my issue with drop-down hips. So the day that broke, I posted on Reddit. I was like, hey, does anyone have a fix for this? Because it's a nasty break. And I don't know if Reddit users are just illiterate or what, but like, you just always get the worst of the worst on Reddit. And instead of anyone telling me a fix, there's one guy that sent me a really in-depth way to possibly fix it. So shout out to that guy. But other than that, I just got a bunch of, you should have heated it up. It's like, no shit. So first off, I bought this loose. So for all I know, that thing was already compromised before I got it, because I did heat it up myself. I think in this case, it was bad that I heated it up because I didn't feel anything off because it was so soft and malleable. I think maybe I should have played around with it prior. But I just found it funny because everyone was getting hung up on the preventative measures when that's not what I asked. I asked a fix, and everyone was getting so butthurt, man. And I'm like, that's like me coming on here and being like, hey, I accidentally chopped off my leg. How do I reattach it? And instead of people telling me how to reattach it, everyone's like, you shouldn't have done that. So, but anyway, during the discussion of at least normal literate people there, they warned me about this guy, which I thought was funny because the day I have my first... By the way, this is the first time I ever broke a figure, which sucks. He's done. I'm not going to Frankenstein put the screw in there, yada, yada. I'll just buy a new one, and I can part this guy out because the head sculpt is phenomenal. But they warned me about this guy because he also has the drop-down hips. And again, I don't think they feel good. So they do come out to there without them kind of activated. Go out to there, which that's actually pretty nice. But the thing is, like, when you're doing that, it's kind of activating the drop down anyway. So in looking in there, I don't think I see any signs of it stressing, but I don't want to move it around too much because I now have PTSD for any single drop down hip I come across. So just keep that in mind if you get this. Some tips I got, though, is obviously, I knew this already, but heat up your figures when you get them. It doesn't hurt. And then after that, to really, I guess, help this not snap off like poor old Final Swing here, as you heat it up a little bit more to where you can take this off the ball. And then if you look at the ball, it's not exactly round. It's kind of like got this hexagonal kind of pattern to it, edges and whatnot. If you just sand down some edges here and there, not enough to where it won't snap on tightly anymore, but just enough to where it makes it a little easier to move, you should be okay. But just really be careful with the drop down hips. Like I said, this is why I'm not a fan of them. They just don't feel good, and then they break. So again, that might even be on purpose too. Break this, gotta go buy a new one. I'm gonna, I don't know, probably gonna just buy this loose again somewhere. And just know if it's drop down hip, just double check before you buy it, because like I said, this could have been compromised before I even got to it. The initial owner probably didn't heat it up at all. So, and if I remember correctly, these ones were abnormally tight. I remember when this wave came, this one specifically was just abnormally tight. So there's that. But anyway, enough of him. This guy. So like I said, paint apps are awesome. The sculpt work is super specific and awesome. Everything's raised and sculpted, painted nicely. You get good articulation out of it. I just wish the drop-down hips weren't scary, and I wish they would get away from this dumbbell system. That's the only negative I have to it. And again, sorry I don't have the rest of the actual product here. But yeah, that's basically it. Do I recommend this? Final thoughts. I'd say yeah, just for how unique the sculpt is. I mean, this is a pretty unique Spider-Man. And as far as I could tell, I can't remember how many battle-damaged Spider-Man they've done. But this, I'd say this is the best one in recent memory. It looks nice. And it's even better if you don't lose the accessories like a dumbass. So yeah, he moves nice. I'd recommend it. It's a win-win if you're into Magic the Gathering, because, it's a double whammy. So yeah, I'd say this is an above average figure. And yeah, I'd recommend it. It's, is it going to be my favorite Spider-Man? Nah. But he's fun to move around, as long as you're not moving those. But yeah, that's basically it. I recommend them. Just be careful of the hips. And sorry, I am an idiot. I lost everything. So, but like I said, I just wanted to get this out because, you know, the meat and potatoes is the actual figure. I didn't lose that, thankfully. So there's that. Get it if you want. Yeah, I guess that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but other than actual physical things I'm missing, but yeah. So yeah, well, you know what? Get them. Do it. Why not? That's gonna be it because I gotta work on my outros, obviously, because I kind of just ramble. So yeah, if you guys can in the comments give me a F in chat for that. Hopefully that doesn't happen to him. And I guess in the comments, let me know. What do you think of this? Do you have it? Do drop down hips scare you? Did you suffer from the pandemic on this guy? What's your thoughts on the Magic the Gathering side of it? You know, let's have a discussion. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever you want to do or don't. That's, you know, I don't blame you. That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for clicking on this. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. That's gonna do it. I will see you on the next one. Peace.